Okay, lesson 53 is perimeter and measures of a circle. So we're going to do some stuff with perimeter. We're going to learn some terms about circles. There's a lot of vocabulary in here, so you might want to take some notes if you don't know this stuff. Okay, so perimeter is the distance around a polygon. So think about a fence around a property, baseboards around a room. They give you that one a lot. So you're just looking at the outside of a shape. It has to be a closed shape, okay? There's a little formula that goes along with it, so we'll come back to that. So first of all, let's get our definitions. If I have a rectangle, the length is the longer dimension. The width is the shorter dimension. So if I have this, that's my longer dimension, there's my length. There's my shorter dimension, that's my width. If I turn it this way, you notice that's still my length and still my width. Length and width can kind of vary a little bit. Mrs. Snyder may have a definition that you use. When you start using 3D shapes and you start trying to measure them, I always pick one dimension and call it the length, and you try to make it the longest one, and then I try to lay that rectangle down on the table so that the length faces my tummy, like this. I don't know. That's always confusing to people. As long as you define it, you're okay. Okay, so if I want to find the perimeter of this rectangle, I got to go all the way around it, right? So they gave me two measurements, and this is a regular rectangle, right? So I know that this measurement and this measurement are going to be the same. Otherwise, we get some crazy angles. And then this measurement and this measurement are going to be the same. So let's mark where we're going to start. We're going to go down and around. So I'm going to say 2 centimeters plus 3 centimeters. So that's 2 plus 3 is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So that one is 10 centimeters. Okay, that was easy. I just added them up. Okay, let's look at example 2. They want me to use our formula. So they use a lowercase l. My lowercase l looks like a 1, so I just made it uppercase. It's not correct, but for your purposes, my L is better than the one I can draw. So perimeter equals 2 lengths plus 2 widths. Did I do that? Okay, 2 lengths, so 3 and 3, and 2 widths, 2 and 2. So let's see. 2 lengths, 2 times 3 plus, and then my width is 2 times 2, 6 plus 4 equals 10 centimeters. So I get the same thing. So I'm not doing area, I'm doing perimeter. I have to add them up as I go around. So that's what's sometimes confusing to people. Now they're going to start talking about regular polygons. So remember a polygon, a closed shape, no curves, it's flat. But what does regular mean? Like a jolly fellow, a regular guy? No, it means equal length sides and equal angles. So everything's the same. I could turn it whichever way I want and it would look the same no matter how I turned it. So to find the perimeter of a regular polygon, multiply the number of sides by the length of each side. Okay, example 3 says find the perimeter of this regular triangle. So they only labeled one side, but can I label the other sides now that I know that it's a regular triangle? Sure. Perimeter is the distance around. So I'm going to do 12, 24, 36, right? So I just added 12 plus 12 plus 12. But they said I can multiply the number of sides. How many sides do I have? 3. Times the length of one of the sides, or each side, since they're the same. So 3 times 12 is 36, and I think those were in inches. So that I have to remember to put my label on, right? Let's say that I had a regular quadrilateral. This isn't in the book, but we're going to do it anyway. Doesn't that regular quadrilateral look like a square? It's because it is. And let's say that each side was, I don't know, let's do 4 inches. So what's this side going to be? 4 inches. And this side, 4 inches. And this side, 4 inches. So how many sides do I have? I have 4. And what's the length of each side? 4. So I know the perimeter, the distance all the way around, is 16. Let's say that this was 8. I'm going to change it up. Okay, so pretend like that's a new rectangle, a square, regular quadrilateral. So how many sides do I have? I have 4. And what's the length of one of those sides? 8. So what's the distance around that? 32 inches. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus another 8 is 24, plus another 8 is 32. So that's how you can do the perimeter of regular polygons. Okay, this last little bit is a lot of definitions. So I've drawn the best I could a circle with some of these things in there. You probably know some of these. They said the definition of circle is a smooth curve. I think it ought to say a closed smooth curve. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that would be my definition. It's closed. There's no gaps in a circle. The circumference is the distance around the circle. It's the perimeter of the circle. So that yellow is the circumference. The center of the circle is in the middle, right? It's the point in the middle. The interesting thing about that is it is the same distance anywhere to the outside if that point is exactly in the center, right? So that's the same, 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 that's the same. You get the idea. The radius is the center to the outside. So the distance from the center to the curve of the circle is halfway across. And the radius is the same here. And if I did it right here, that would still be the same, right? Because that point's in the middle and it's a circle. Diameter is the distance all the way across the circle. So that pink line is the diameter. This line right here, as long as it goes through the center, that's the same measurement. So that's also the diameter. This is also the diameter. Okay, does that make sense? So the radius is half of the diameter. And we'll talk about how to find those things in another lesson, but they wanted you to know what the names of some of those measurements are. Okay, take some notes if you need to. Make sure that you get all that. Pause the video if you need to. Put this in your own words so it makes sense to you. Okay? All right, good luck.